We've all watched Team Dynasty videos before. They seem to follow a similar pattern. The team coming close to victory and dealing with heartbreak before achieving success. A superstar leading the way. A coaching staff's vision and game plan for winning. A tremendous supporting cast with extremely valuable role players. And last, but certainly not least, chemistry. This team had all of that. This team. When talking about this group of OLPH girls who played from 2010 to 2018, outsiders often refer to them as that group. If you're an outsider, that's a good name for them. But if you're a parent or grandparent, aunt or uncle, sister or brother, perhaps an appropriate name is our champions. This is the story of our champions and how they got there. In a small town named Ardsley, tucked away, hidden to most, is the OLPH, Our Lady of Perpetual Help. In 2010, two parents signed their daughters up to play CYO basketball and signed themselves up to coach.
I was coaching Shannon's team before, but Shannon wouldn't go. So I used to bring Megan down there.
I was in kindergarten, and I played for my sister's team because my sister didn't want to play with them. I signed up because basketball was in my family, and I already was playing, so I enjoyed it.
Megan was always amazing at basketball. I remember even in first grade, she would be like shooting threes and swishing in.
I was a coach for CYO with my older daughter, Christina. So it just made sense when she came along and it was time to sign up that they were offering a first grade clinic that I would offer my services and sign Megan up and get us all re-involved. So just when you think you're out of CYO, I got dragged back in again.
I remember me swatting at the ball and being the queen of traveling and picking up the ball, walking across the entire court and then stopping again and then dribbling again. Yeah, that's all I remember from it.
I signed up for this program because my mom made me. I had no idea what to expect. I just hopped right in there and just started playing.
Oh my gosh, we couldn't wait, or whatever. It was so important to us to have her be a part of CYO. We had watched my nieces go through CYO, and we loved watching the games. And she was excited to be playing basketball just like her cousins.
I signed Christina up because I wanted her to get involved in sports. I remember coming home and telling Todd, I signed Christina up for basketball. He's like, basketball? He's like, we don't play basketball.
Well, I was like, basketball? Fatato's, we don't play basketball. I had Christina playing hockey, and I had aspirations of her being a hockey player.
Going into first grade, I had no experience playing basketball, and I didn't know what to expect, but they taught me so much. Megan Casey was always so good. In first grade, she knew what she was doing, and I had no idea.
Starting in 2010, a core group of 4 girls would go on to play every season together.
And it was the most adorable, cutest thing to see these little 6-year-olds running around with little OLPH t-shirts on. They all had so much enthusiasm and so much just raw drive. It was so adorable. And we actually had some second graders and kindergartners, so it was a big group.
He's just trying to push these girls with dribbling and sliding their feet with defense.
Many of the staple things that these girls do now and are known for, you saw a glimpse of that in first grade. Megan Casey, she was always carrying the mail. She had a great grasp of the game and a burning desire to be the best. Kelly always displayed that calm demeanor, like handling the ball. She always had the confidence and the ability to fire away at long distances. Bruno owned the center domain, swatting down balls, just being feisty, battling for loose balls. Christina always displayed the ability to get up and down the court with speed. She displayed good vision, hitting the open player, and her compete level was always real high. So, some things over the years, they just hadn't changed all that much.
And we would show up every Saturday morning, and we just played. Christina and Megan, we all started in first and second grade.
And Christina scored her first basket. Oh my God, you would have thought she won like an Olympic gold medal. I was screaming. I remember even getting teary-eyed.
I don't really remember much, but I do remember my mom screaming obnoxiously.
I would say that Sean Casey and myself are both very competitive parents. I would say that all the parents who signed their kids up for CYO in Ardsley.
I remember I look back now and watch the videotapes, and I can't believe what we sounded like.
Get her, Christina, yeah! Come on, Megan. That's traveling.
We definitely were nuts or whatever, but it was good nuts. We wanted our kids, to listen to their moms. Don't mind those coaches. Listen to your mom. Everything is good. Just keep dribbling, keep going.
One story I have is that girl Jada, the little one. She bit Megan Bruno's arm and twisted it all the way around, and she twisted her arm. And Megan was crying. And then I remember Paige dunking.
Sean and Rick made it fun for the girls while also teaching them.
And there would be Sean. How many fingers do I have up? 2 fingers, 1 finger, 3 finger. And they couldn't look down. They had to look at him, and they would be sweating by the time practice was over.
I remember we had the end of the year clinic party. Sean and Rick being so generous, they gave us basketball lunch boxes. The girls got personalized water bottles, their names on it, that we still have. I remember we had a parents versus kids game. It was Marion, Pam, me, Teresa, the dads. We had a lot of fun.
My sister are always making fun of my mom, poking fun. We're like, yo, Terry B from the Bronx is coming. Her 6 brothers will slit your throat. I remember in the parent versus kid thing at OLPH, I don't remember what it was for. She won it, and she made a 3. She was just ooh, and it just plopped in. They give her this box or something to open, and she's they handed it to her, and she's like, what is it? What is it? There's the animal inside. Isn't it an animal? Oh, mother of God. Isn't it an animal? I'm like, Mom, please, you're embarrassing me so much. Stop.
I remember Teresa was this amazing basketball player. And we're like, where the heck did that come from? She was shooting threes.
That's where we found out that Terry B could ball. After awards night, you could tell that the 4 girls, they had a great experience and that they were ready to go and ready to do it again the following season.
Baby, I'm ready to go. I'm fine, I'm ready to go.
Along with a new crop of first graders and the original 4, 3 important players signed up for a new season.
And those 3 were, a great addition.
So Danny, Nikki, and Jillian were addition to our team in 2nd grade, and they helped our team tremendously. And our team wouldn't be the same without them today.
Okay, in 2nd grade, we always picked up a few and dropped off a few. Jillian was very tenacious, a ball of fire.
Marion told me about CYO, and I signed Jillian up.
I think my mom just signed me up and told me that I was doing basketball. I wasn't really into it. I don't know, I guess I didn't really know what was going on. I just was like, oh, basketball, whatever.
Jillian was always smiling and didn't take things too serious.
Well, she had a lot of friends that were asking her to play soccer and softball, and basketball was for the winter, so they all convinced her that it would be the right thing to do to be with her friends, and we all agreed.
My mom just signed me up. That's what I said. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
We picked up Danny Apostle, which was another girl that we identified right off the bat as being some type of a guard.
Danny, I remember having boundless energy, just bouncing up and down all over the court, playing defense.
I remember everyone's haircuts. I remember Danny's mushroom haircut.
When Danny came in 2nd grade, she was always cute and small and adorable.
And Nikki just, putting her head down, always working hard. She brought the lunch pail every day to work.
Nikki, I always called her a fire plug.
Nikki is easy to coach. She's focused, which is weird because when she's at the house, she's a giggling buffoon.
Because I'm a Macri and that's what we do. We play basketball and we chew gum, but I'm fresh out of gum.
In 2011, the addition of the 3 girls brought the core group to 7.
You always realize these are friends that you're going to be playing with for so long, and it was it really is such a cool experience to be playing with the same girls from 1st grade, 2nd grade for me, on to 8th grade. And I'm going to be sad when it's over, and I don't want it to end because it's like a friendship and a team that you'll never get rid of.
We'd have to call around and get other parishes to play. But I'll tell you that, as far as OLPH, that was I saw as the biggest difference, because our girls were starting in 1st and 2nd grade, where some of these other girls weren't coming on till 3rd or 4th. And by then, we were already playing basketball.
The team would repeatedly scrimmage St. Matthews over and over again, forming a rivalry that would play itself out time and time again over the next 5 seasons.
We kept scrimmaging St. Matt's over and over again, and it became more like a rivalry because they were close games and tough games.
In 2nd grade, it felt like we scrimmaged St. Matt's over and over again.
We're always a fierce competitor of ours. And they always had Paige, was a girl that was equal to my daughter in size and in talent, and a center. It was always very good competition, and competition only makes your kids better.
They even had cheers when they were on the bench.
I remember we scrimmaged St. Matt's a lot in 2nd grade. I remember hands up guy. It was hands up, hands up. And he's actually a really, really nice guy. And to this day, he still says, hands up, hands up.
You can see that the girls were starting to grasp hitting the open player, and they had some really nice tic-tac-toe baskets.
That was the year that I mostly learned what basketball was, what the rules were, how to play defense, offense, how to shoot, dribble, all that stuff.
I learned how to dribble and shoot and pass and work as a team.
These girls, at a young age, I'm not positive what grade, I was bringing I had these girls dribbling 2 basketballs.
We used to do the 2-pound dribbling and the alternating, and our first year we didn't we were the balls would hit and they would just be we didn't know how to do it, but then every year we got better and better.
We did a lot of dribbling drills, and they really explained the basketball game because I did not know the rules or anything about basketball.
Early on, we learned like how to handle the ball, and we did a bunch of dribbling drills to like get us better.
We learned all the fundamentals. Like in like second grade, he always made us do like the 2 handballs dribbling to get our dribbling up. We always did shooting drills, like running around the perimeter of the 3-point line and like going in for shots. We started at a really young age, and I think that just shows how good we play now.
We'd go out to Mina's to get pizza. We'd go out and get yogurt. I would have to something real important to do at work. I blew it off for any little practice that we had. I love this stuff. This is I can't even tell you how much fun it was just being around my daughter's friends and being able to coach them. I couldn't even tell you how much fun I had with it.
2, 4, 8. We appreciate girls, girls, girls.
I remember my first foul and getting really upset because I thought I was in trouble.
Kelly Tierney, she, always had the little bit of a good shot there. She would. I think her mother would have her outside shooting 100 free throws.
My mom was crazy. She was like, "You have to shoot 100 shots just to get my shooting ready." Do you want to know anything about it? 100 shots? Like before I would walk in the house, she'd just make me shoot 100.
I made Kelly go outside to shoot 100 foul shots in the snow because Tom Phelan said it's important to get every foul shot in. So we practiced outside, we meaning her, and I watched from the garage.
Some might say that I'm just tall.
Things haven't changed a lot. Megan Bruno was always doing the tip-off for us since second grade.
And Megan Bruno, she's always like a tall string bean that could just like do anything, like block.
Megan was always a little taller than most of the kids. So it was all about a little string bean, trying to get a little string bean to be defensive under the basket.
And Christina was always like so fast. I would be like, she's so fast. She's like a little rabbit, like jumping around, guarding all these girls.
We had Christina Fatato. Christina was always hungry with the defense, sometimes afraid of making mistakes. And we were just trying to teach her, hey, mistakes are good. This is how you get better.
Megan Casey was the one that came into the program knowing like everything about basketball.
Megan Casey, she was always known as like our like best player, like best point guard, like she was just really good.
My Megan, I had her playing a little bit before. I'd always be playing with her. So when I was coaching these girls and they're in first and second grade, she kind of made it a little easy for me because I could push Megan, and then all the other ducklings would just fall in right behind.
And then we became friends through CYO. Over the years, everyone would get closer, and then we just all became friends, and it was really fun.
I talked to Christina and I said, hey, if you get a basket today, can you acknowledge, somehow you have some sort of acknowledgement that, if you do get a basket, acknowledge me by doing that. And it just so happened that she had 4 baskets that game and didn't acknowledge me until the 4th basket.
So I went like that.
At the end of second grade, we had a fun party at the gym where we were just playing games, shooting around, having wheelbarrow races. It was a lot of fun. Cupcakes, we had donuts, we had basketball cakes.
And at the end of the year, the pep rallies with Drew Watson were really fun.
Their awards night, they got their backpacks, they got some medals for things, and they got to really stand up on stage as a team and know that for the following year they were going to be the 3rd grade girls.
The girls were ready for the real deal, and it was time to shut the door on clinic. 7 returning for the 3rd grade season, the team would add another player to the mix.
Wait, who's joining? Who is this girl?
A force to be reckoned with, in my opinion.
Someone said that she broke someone's arm or something.
Oh my gosh, she's gonna kill me. Nicole Sanfilippo was a new addition to our team in 3rd grade.
And we were all like scared because Nicole was like the tough girl and like we didn't know what to expect. She would always wear her hair down and a ponytail would be flying all over the place. And she would like show everyone up and like break their ankles and shoot. And she would make a million shots and everyone was just kind of blown away.
I remember she like launched like the ball across the court and it was like, whoa, that girl has an arm and she could be a player one day.
She was just really good and after a while we all kind of blended with her.
Nicole was not the conventional player.
We got rid of the small rim and these girls were ready to play.
To hone their skills, the girls participated in a 4th grade league at House of Sports.
Yay! All right!
We signed the girls up for House of Sports League, but they did not have a 3rd grade team, so we put them in the 4th grade league.
It was actually Sean Casey's idea, and House of Sports was opened up in art. You get to go play in the center for your kid, and use and play up, and be no pressure because it wouldn't be a game that would count in the CYO schedule for your standing, but it would challenge the kids. And if you challenge the kids and you have the kids play up, and they know it's no pressure, and if they win half the games, that's fantastic. And that was just something I thought was really good for our kids in their whole development of basketball.
I love the looks that they were giving each other that first game, like, we're beating 4th graders. Isn't this awesome?
We were playing some 4th grade teams that they didn't even know how to handle us. We were running up and down the court. These girls worked so hard. I remember we played the 4th grade Scarsdale team before we started in CYO. That coach was screaming and yelling at his players because we were already running up and down, stealing the ball off them, and they didn't know what to do. It was a lot of fun.
Like, I guess I was more nervous to play against older kids, but then, I mean, we just like went out, played basketball, like had fun, and like.
We're like beating the 4th grade teams and we're in 3rd grade. Do the 4th grade teams know we're in 3rd grade and are they embarrassed?
And in the end, I think it was a good decision because when we got into playing with our CYO games, we were rocking and rolling.
After winning their first 2 House of Sports games versus Edgemont and Scarsdale, the CYO season opened at home versus Immaculate Conception, Irvington. The girls were victorious by the score of 20-2. The girls were indeed rocking and rolling.
So I would always swat the ball because I didn't know any other way, but it was effective, okay? I would go up to the girl, I'd be like, and I would get the ball from her, but I would also get a lot of fouls, but it was just really funny. They'd be like, oh no, Megan Bruno's gonna foul this girl.
The next day, the team collected their 2nd win at Annunciation.
That 4th grade house sports team was really good. They were like an all-star team.
This time it was OLPH on the wrong side of the scoreboard. House of Sports 32, OLPH 10.
I remember in 3rd grade we played Annunciation.
I remember in the games against Annunciation where we had so many points that we like had to stop shooting by like the 2nd quarter.
Sean couldn't go to that game, so I ended up sitting on the bench with Rick, and I remember my only bit of coaching advice in that game, because the score was so lopsided, was if you've scored already in this game, do not shoot the ball.
I remember we were in a 4th grade league when we were in 3rd grade and we were winning, and I was really shocked and I realized our team was really good.
For a second time, they would beat Scarsdale 20-5 on Court 4 in House of Sports. Despite Megan Bruno's attempts to rally the troops, they would fall to the 4th grade House of Sports team once again.
The next victim on the CYO schedule was St. Vito's. In that game, we had a first, Megan Bruno forgetting to remove her shooting shirt.
And they'd be like, Megan Bruno, your shooting shirt. I'd be like, ah. Everyone would be like, Megan Bruno, always with the shooting shirt. I would always show up in the wrong color. And I would walk in, a lot of times I'll walk into OLPH, and Jen would be like, oh, hey, Megan, we're white. And I'd be like, what? Oh, my God. She'd be like, Megan, we're white. I'd be like, no, we're not. She'd be like, yes, we are. Or the other time, I would have the color right, and she'd go, Megan, we're blue. What are you doing? I'd be like, oh, my God, we are. She'd be like, nah, I'm just kidding.
On December 11th, the OLPH 3rd grade girls continued their dominance against the 4th grade Scarsdale team, beating them by a score of 22-6, running their record in House of Sports League to 5-2.
With my older kids, I knew going into Mayapack they were, no matter what the team they had, they were going to be screaming and yelling at you. So we were practicing before it. I remember telling the team that my aunt lives up in Mayapack, and she was telling me that they are so good. And this is what I'm telling the girls, that they're talking that they're going to crush us.
I remember before the game, we all had to go to the bathroom really bad, so we just went in the woods because their bathroom was broken, so my dad just said, go in the woods.
I remember sitting next to a grandmother, and her granddaughter was like tackling our girls, and I was like, hey, they're tackling our girls. And she turns to me and says, if you can't take the heat, get off the court.
The first play of the game, the ball goes out of bounds, and we are going to take it out over by their side, and their coach is yelling and yelling and yelling. I remember Kelly holding her ears. The gym was so loud, and it was just really about calming these girls down. And that was our first hostile environment.
I can remember being worried and excited. I realize now it was the first of many Sean overhyping the opponent.
But I guess I really didn't realize the progress until we played other teams, and I just couldn't believe what our girls were doing compared to some of these other teams. When we started playing some of these other teams, our girls were already had a few plays. We kind of gave them spots to be in, and these girls picked it up quick. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I believe everyone contributed a point in that game, and that was great.
The girls were up for the test, beating St. John's 22-10.
So we went to Mayapack thinking like it was going to be a really tough game because we were blowing out teams. And when we went there, we ended up like blowing them out, and all the parents like wanted to kill us, like the other team, because they were so mad.
Later that night, they played at House of Sports against Ann Seton.
That was what was good about the House of Sports League is it didn't allow our girls to rest on their laurels. It kept us humble, and it kept us working hard, sliding our feet, and otherwise we were going to get embarrassed by some of the good 4th grade teams. Played Scarsdale the last time without Megan Casey, and I could see the coaches and the players on their team like looking around, where's the little blonde girl? I could also see their eyes light up like, oh, wow, we have a chance to beat these teams, for the first time.
Scarsdale would have a chance to beat the OLPH crew, but once again, the girls would blow past them thanks to 2 late baskets by Christina Fatato.
I remember that game where Shannon Bruno, Megan Bruno's sister, and Jocelyn's mom had to coach us.
The first game of the new year, the team faced St. John the Baptist, led by Jillian Anderson's baskets. The girls dominated once again, winning 24-10. And there was no doubt who Danny Apostle thought was number one.
We were beating them very bad, and we were just playing monkey in the middle because we were beating them by so much, and we had to stop playing.
With both teams having a perfect record of 7-0, we faced our rivals St. Matthews. But this time, it wasn't a scrimmage. It was for first place.
We were both undefeated, and we were playing at St. Matt's. They were our arch rival. We played them a lot of times in scrimmages, and we would have some great battles.
This was going to be the game to determine who came in first place.
And I remember saying to the girls before the game, if you win this, we're going to Disney World.
Let me see.
They didn't have the start they wanted, as Paige Martin opened the scoring for St. Matt's. Megan Casey would find herself in the corner with 3 defenders on her. She would dump the ball off to Megan Bruno, and OLPH was on the board. The team would continue to have to play good defense against Paige and limit her opportunities if they were going to have a chance for the lead. Megan Casey would bury 2 from the right side corner to give OLPH a lead of 6-2.
That game was a battle. I remember, girls were diving for loose balls. Everyone just seemed to put it on the line. Every inch was being contested that entire game.
Leading 8-4 with 4 minutes to go in the third, Megan Bruno extended the lead to 10-4.
I remember saying to Daniela to shoot the ball, and she comes right back at me saying, I can't.
Okay, honestly, I do not remember that. I wish that wasn't me, but it makes me laugh every time I watch that video because my mom's like, look at you look so stupid, you're so mean.
5 seconds! With under 5 seconds left in the third quarter, Danny Apostle could shoot, and she extended the lead to 12-4.
Yeah, I hope
so. The girls hung on for a 12-6 win, giving them a perfect record of 8-0.
And it didn't happen like what happened when we played
It was a huge win, and we were really excited to win that because we knew that we were probably going to be in first place. And that's the game where Jen said that we were going to go to Disneyland if we won the game.
Everyone over to Jen. Who's Jen's got? And then we're going to have
But then my dad just said, let's all go to Yogurt by You. So it was
And I was like, we're going to Disneyland? And I was so gullible, and I was like, I actually believe we were going to Disneyland if we won.
With both of us being undefeated, winning that game made us feel like we were the best.
And it was really great to see the girls. They were jumping up in the air. They were so excited. To see those girls so excited, they have got some really great memories together. It's awesome.
Hey, you guys have a fish? We're gonna go to Disney World! We're gonna go to Disney World! Woo! I thought we were going if we won the playoffs.
Yeah, that was their deal.
Mom!
Let me see. Oh, yeah.
We need to go now! We need to go now! We need to go now!
Our kids were actually really getting good because of the House of Sports and playing up and playing against fourth graders. And I think that gave us the extra edge to actually overcome and beat St. Matt's on a heads-up battle at the end of third grade.
We had like a lot of fun times, so after the games we would go out to eat or go to like Yogurt by You, and we would always say how if we won the championship we'd go to Disneyland and stuff like that, and we just started becoming like a team and bonding a lot more, and I think that's what helped us.
Of course. They're my besties. And we went to Sean's restaurant in Bronxville. I remember that. And
All the kids became very close. We had team meals. We would go out after games and celebrate our wins.
I know we had a lot of good times with everybody. Going out to eat, hanging out. We extended the day. Like we thought it wasn't just a 1 hour game. It was like a 4 hour day.
And they just enjoyed each other. They,
Like, I remember every practice, I guess sometimes, like, we were little, so we just still wanted to have fun, not to play basketball. So we'd all, like, line up around the gym and do, like, cartwheels or, like, see who could hold a handstand against the wall the longest. And then, like, we'd go out to dinner, like, I guess after our games. And it was just, like, a fun time, like, just laughing with your friends.
We had a sleepover at Nicole's house for her birthday, and I fell asleep first. And Nicole was like, guys, I have a great idea. Let's put cheese on Megan Bruno's face, or whipped cream. And then they didn't have whipped cream, so she just put cheese on my face. So then they took a picture, and it's still a really funny story to this day. Marion would get everyone slushies and munchkins and donuts.
I thought it would be a good idea if we stopped at 7-Eleven and the girls would get some slushies.
And we all got slushies. And we brought them to the gym like, hey, we're so cool. And then, like Sean Casey, he made my mom do laps.
He was joking that I was going to have to run laps around the OLPH gym, which of course we know did not happen.
So I was like, Mom, you can't do that again. So one of my famous stories is in 3rd grade at OLPH, we were versing IGEM, and Christina made a layup, and I was so happy. I ran on the court and high-fived her.
Get out of there! Hey, come here!
And I realized that was wrong when Sean yelled at me to go sit back down. It was so right. Like, I felt like I had to support my teammate, and I thought that was right, but I guess not.
But then when he realized, that she was doing something nice for her friend, he gave her a big hug or whatever, so it was all good.
With a 10-0 record and 2 games remaining against bottom-level teams, would it be crazy to think they could lose?
I guess the kids, being so young, took a lot for granted, and they expected to win their next games, and they went into Harrison, into St. Gregory's,
and for whatever reason, it almost felt like there was a lid on the rim. Anything we were shooting at there, it just wasn't going in.
We had a horrible day over there. I don't know what happened. We had a lot of shots on goal, but it was like almost there was an invisible lid on the basket. We just couldn't win that day.
We just couldn't put it in the rim, and they were a physical team. I just remember we were it was kind of the first time we were really down in a game, and as we were down and time was going on, I remember our girls starting for the first time like worry about the score, and we were all worried about the score. I remember Christina, I was like just talking to Christina and just be like, yeah, just stop. You know what I mean? It's affecting your game. And at one point I even had to sit her down just to have her, just regroup.
They were unable to regroup. St. Gregory's 9, OLPH 6.
And I remember a lot of the girls were upset, and my Megan and a couple of them were crying, and I was just trying to, I go from being I'm very competitive with it to just they're all young kids, and just trying to talk to them about it's just a game, and you just can't let that get in your way, and you know what? Well, as long as you play hard, that's the best you could do, but we'll get them in the playoffs.
Christina crying, and I was like, Christina, if you want to get a puppy, you need to not cry, because your mom said that if you don't cry all season, then you'll get a puppy. So stop, suck it up.
I remember getting so mad at her for crying. She couldn't even play the game. So when we got in the car, I was yelling at her for crying and letting down her team. And it was pretty funny. Isabella had been with us.
I was in the car when Aunt Jenny was really mad. And I said to her, because she was screaming at Sheena, so I said to her, Aunt Jenny, you know I'm still in the car, right?
That was a very rough ride coming home from that game. I was getting yelled at a lot, and Izzy was in the car, and I remember feeling very embarrassed, and I was so upset that we lost, and I was shocked.
When we lost, it was very upsetting and very surprising.
They were on such a high from beating St. Matt's that to be beat by St. Gregory's made them understand that they could lose. And part of the whole game, part of winning is learning how to lose.
I still thought the ball was flat, but I've gotten past it, you know. I thought the ref was a little hard.
I think it was a good learning experience for them. They going into the playoffs after that put them in a wake-up mode.
And Sean and I think we both realized that right off the bat, that we had a good bunch of kids. They were all good. Pam Casey would put out emails, and it would say, you know, we're having a voluntary practice on Saturday morning. And no worries, no problem if you don't make it. But those kids all made it. And I was really astounded by this group of young girls that all made it to voluntary practices. They weren't mandatory, and they all made it. That meant to me that they had that inner drive, and they really, really wanted to do this.
I think everyone got better as a whole, like a lot, or you know, some of us were better than others at first, and then we just all rubbed off on each other, and we all got better.
We were very fortunate for our coaching. We had practice like almost every day, and I think that just helped because me personally, I wanted to go to practice every single day because it was a lot of fun, but we were also very serious.
Everyone got the ball. We always passed. It wasn't revolved around one person.
Sean and Rick really helped me become a better basketball player.
If it wasn't for the two of them, I believe these girls wouldn't be who they are. They really showed them some great leadership, some great skills. Sean was really a stepping stone for Danny, especially with development.
We were never a selfish team. It wasn't always about one player. We always passed it around, make sure everyone got a basket.
I think the coaching was amazing because every year we had improved and we have become like so great, and we're like this big team that everyone's scared to face.
Like we were getting a couple practices in a week, and we were working hard. I kept pushing. I was pushing them, and they wanted more. They were just as excited if someone else on their team scored as if they did. It was just really nice. And we were passing and shooting, and you know that we were a tough team.
We went away to Aruba. I remember coming home, getting right off the plane, getting Christina changed, and driving her to the gym. And it was awesome. I remember walking into the gym, practice had already begun, and all the girls were so sweet. They came running over and hugged Christina. I was so happy to see her. Everyone was so excited going into our first playoff game.
I remember for the first playoff game, we all had matching star socks that were like white, the whole sock, and then like blue and gold stars. And then we had hair ties, which were bows, and they were blue and yellow.
People had made signs for us that Marion had bought us matching star socks that the girls were all excited about to wear.
Their first round opponent was Ann Seton. After some nice passing, Megan Bruno gave the OLPH girls a 2-0 lead. Shortly after, Nicole made it 4-0. Then it was Megan Casey's turn. Christina grabbed a rebound and fired it in, and before you knew it, 8-0.
Nikki always hated that girl number 1. She wanted to kill her.
I hated that girl.
and they wanted it, but our girls just showed we were too good. We just pushed past them and took the win.
OLPH 15 and Seton 6. Next up, you guessed it, St. Matthews and Paige Martin.
If Paige from St. Matt's was the only real impediment to us winning, if she was wrong, we had to shut her down. So we talked about a box and one.
I remember having my daughter, I had her put on Paige's number, and we just we practiced for that week and made sure we boxed out, and everyone kept an eye on Paige.
We had my sister, since she was like tall, play as Paige, so that we could know how it feels like to play her and what we would do to try to stop her.
And we took his daughter Shannon and we dressed her up and we put her a St. Matt's shirt on her, and we wrote on the back of the shirt her number, and we said, "This is Paige," and we have to put the one person on her, whether it was my daughter or it was Jillian or it was whoever, or Nikki. We practiced boxing out Paige.
Some teams, they have like one person who's great and like the whole rest of the team is bad, but like our team, there's no weak link. Like everyone does their part and everyone has like a thing that they do, and like everyone contributes. Everyone was talking and saying, "Oh, Paige is gonna be playing in St. Matt's and we're gonna lose. Megan, step up your game." And I was scared because she's tall.
It was just a matter of always icing or isolating Paige.
I guess I remember like Paige, like she was like the one that you had to watch out for.
Nicole opened the scoring with her first of 4 baskets on the day. Shortly after, Paige would answer, and everyone knew it would be a battle till the end.
It was definitely defense by committee that day. Everybody really watched out and kept an eye out on Paige.
Paige would find an opening and give St. Matt's a 4-2 lead.
And again, Paige is a great player.
What a fantastic battle that first quarter was.
At the end of the first quarter, St. Matthews 4, OLPH 4.
So I remember thinking like the whole time, okay, stay on Paige, don't let her go, don't let her go. And then it's like,
She was over the line. Go all the way back. Get down.
Playing defense on her and like shutting her down a few times, and it was good for her.
With a little over 4 minutes to go in the third quarter, Nicole got her 4th basket to make the score 11-6.
Jillian did a great job with Paige.
gets the ball, she spins around, she makes a basket.
OLPH built a lead, but Page cut that lead to 13-10. It would be Megan Bruno who'd give OLPH a 5-point lead with a minute and change to go. Final score, OLPH 15, St. Matthews 12.
Do your little dance. Let me see.
And it was Christina's birthday. So it was so awesome. After we won, everyone went in the cafeteria and we celebrated with cake and cupcakes for her. It was a pretty cool birthday for her.
We celebrated in the cafeteria and Izzy was there with us.
So we just got back from Aruba and it was Christina's birthday and everyone was in high spirits.
After you eat your cupcakes and stuff, if you guys have like 5 or 10 minutes, I'd love to come, just you guys come and watch this other team play for 5 to 10 minutes. Is that okay?
The team they'd be facing in the final is Holy Innocents of Pleasantville.
Had to take Danny, we went on a family trip to see our both sets of grandparents in Florida.
But everyone was so intense before and preparing for it, and we were so ready.
Plays, defense, offense. They were the stacked team to play, and you're scared to play against OLPH because they're the best team.
They were playing not to lose. They put in this tight little zone.
After an early opportunity, Holy Innocents drew first blood. Not long after, Megan Casey would respond.
It was a hard competition.
I ended up finding a coach that was my arch nemesis, if you would, in Eddie Burns.
Hey, how you doing, OLPH crew? I know a lot of guys are seeing my face right now, and all the girls are seeing my face, and they're saying, "Oh God, what is he doing on the tape?"
Abby McAllister gave Holy Innocents a 3-2 lead. Off a give and go, Megan Casey gave OLPH the lead. HI went back up 5-4 when Dakota Corey scored. Then it was time for Kelly Tierney to get hot. Then Ellie Pettis got hot, throwing up a couple of shots, tying it 7-7, and then giving them a 9-7 lead. After a couple of good chances to tie it, they gave themselves a bit of a cushion, with Abby McAllister making it 11-7, with just under 4.5 minutes to go.
The parents being like, "Come on, Rev, let's go. my daughter did this, that's not fair. And I like didn't know what was going on. People yelling at the refs, people yelling at coaches. It was all intense.
At the last minute, I think under a minute, I made 2 foul shots, which brought up the game 11-9.
With 21.5 seconds to go, OLPH needs a turnover to have a shot to tie.
Megan Bruno got the interception, but in the process got spun around and started heading in the wrong direction.
Megan Bruno got the ball, and I was calling a timeout because she was about to dribble past the half court. But I was jumping up and down trying to get a timeout, and from jumping up and down, I ended up pulling my calf. So that's just to show you how much I didn't care about winning. We got the timeout.
I tried to go to make a jump shot, but I missed.
Let's go right up, Nicole, right up!
Again, same thing. I think it was Nicole. We got the ball to Nicole. She took a shot. It just, it didn't go in.
Like the last few seconds when it was the jump ball and the ref didn't blow the whistle.
We lost, and I guess you just say that's just the way the ball bounces. Sometimes.
And my dad going crazy, and then just feeling really upset and mad.
I had to think. I said, what could I dig at these girls? What could I dig? I know there's one thing I could dig, but I'm not going to say it.
Okay, it was 11-9 and we only lost by a basket. I will never forget that.
It was a close game, probably 11-9. Good game at Iona Prep. They were a great team, great coach.
I was just the person that was we lost, okay, and I would get on with life, but I remember I was sad because I was so excited to be a part of a championship or something like that.
Shocker of shocks, Holy Innocents beat us.
So they had some good players, and we had a rough day that day, and we lost to Holy Innocents. So they became now our new nemesis.
So I remember losing the championship, and I was crying, and we were taking a team picture, and then Sean was like, "Put the 2 up." So we took a picture with all of us putting the 2 up, and I'm crying.
And I remember Christina crying. She's like, and then I was standing there, and I was like, ew, number 2, second place, great.
Our loss to Holy Innocents was a big bummer for me and the whole team.
I don't think I'm over that yet. I think I'm still upset about it. I remember Christina crying. I remember Sean being funny, saying we were taking a team picture, and instead of putting the 1 up, he's like, "Put the 2 up, put the 2 up."
I was just trying to tell them how proud I was of them and of their hard work and what a great season we had. We were taking the picture. They were all taking the picture, we're number 1, and I just remember shaking my head and saying, "Girls, I'm sorry. You got to change that number. We're number 2." And I think that gave them all the motivation to come back next season because they were definitely wanted it.
And that's a wrap. Why would you ask me that question? Had it. All right, are we done here? This is enough. Who's behind all this?